Teaching a younger brother with post-traumatic stress disorder sounds like an impossible task. But in this book, the protagonist not only makes her brother obedient, but also gets his friends to help manage him. Want to know how she did it? Stay tuned and listen to this story. Leaving the ward, Wendy walked slowly on her way back home. Suddenly, she heard a few students' voices. "Marco! Hurry up, or all the computers will be taken!" Wendy was slightly startled. Marco was her brother's name. She looked in the direction of the voice, and indeed saw her brother standing at the doorstep. Marco had a thick head of red hair and neatly trimmed eyebrows, giving off an unfriendly and distant air. He had a piece of grass in his mouth and coldly told his brothers to stop shouting. However, beneath Marco's appearance, there was a deep trauma that often left him struggling with post-traumatic stress disorder. Marco developed PTSD after his younger brother Tommy was diagnosed with autism. At the time, Mr. Ween condemned Tommy every day, and Marco was traumatized by it. After developing this condition, Marco would lose control due to slightest provocation. Marco and his brothers were preparing to go to an internet cafe when Wendy shouted, "Stop! You're only 15! You're not allowed to go to the internet cafe!" Upon hearing this, Marco's brothers all showed a mocking expression on their faces. Marco, who was the big brother at school, was actually afraid of his sister. In order to maintain his image, Marco pretended not to care and waved his hand, wanting to leave with everyone. Wendy put her hand out to stop them from going any further. Marco tried to push Wendy away, but she not only stood still, but also gave him a shoulder shrug. She taught Marco's brothers a lesson and warned them not to let Marco engage in any dangerous behavior in the future. Marco was very sad. He felt that he was being treated like a child by his sister, and his image as a big brother had been completely destroyed. The next day was the day when Wendy took the university entrance assessment. Students needed to perform a piece of their favorite instrument, and if they received an A or above, they would be accepted into the university. Wendy and her best friend Lake walked hand in hand on their way to the auditorium, checking their makeup as they went. At that moment, Wendy's half-sister Lucy stopped her. She took out a card from her bag and handed it to Wendy, telling her that there was 50,000 yen inside, and she should take it and stop bothering Mr. Ween. Wendy raised her hand and threw the card to the ground, warning her once to not interfere. Lucy then sat on the ground and looked pitifully at Jordan behind her, as if she had been bullied. Previously, Wendy and Lucy both had a crush on Jordan. Lucy encouraged Wendy to write a love letter to Jordan to make her a laughingstock in Jordan's eyes. She also arranged for some girls to gossip behind Jordan, saying that Wendy was a cheesy girl. After hearing these rumors, Jordan believed that Wendy was not good enough for him, so he didn't even look at the love letter when he received it, and threw it away. The love letter was then picked up and posted in the classroom, causing everyone to gather around and mock Wendy for a whole year. Jordan walked over and helped Lucy up from the ground, giving Wendy a fierce glare. Wendy didn't argue with him and pulled her friend away, leaving the scene. The auditorium was filled with people who came to watch the performance. The audience looked at the stage with expectant eyes. The contestants were all very nervous, with sweaty palms and accelerated heartbeats. They knew that this was a rare opportunity, and they had to do their very best to showcase their talents and abilities on stage. It was Lucy's turn, and she played a piano piece for everyone. After the performance, Mr. Ween went up on stage and presented her with a bouquet of flowers. Lucy walked past Wendy, proudly holding the flowers, mocking her by saying, "Don't be sad. Maybe your dad has also prepared some flowers for you." Wendy understood that the Ween family was waiting to see her fail. She had already gotten used to this kind of mockery, so she didn't take it to heart. Calmly, she took her peeper and walked onto the stage, beginning her performance. Want to know if the Ween family will get to see Wendy fail as they hoped? Will Wendy be able to receive an acceptance letter from the university? Stay tuned for the next exciting episode.